I'll call Charlotte and Samantha and see if they're free, because Big's got this dinner thing, so, we didn't have any plans anyway, and I'll go.
See, this is one of the issues we talked about Carrie. She is centering men into her life. She's not centering herself. Even though she used to be this cool, independent woman, or at least this is the image she wants us to believe about her, because this was a time when cosmopolitan was like a religion for the single woman. You used to be single, you used to have smacks without any connections or emotional involvement, you used to make your own money, you had your own place, you had all the designer goodies that you could wanted, and still Carrie centers a man. First sign, her closest friends. When her closest friends wanted to go out with her, the first thing that she says was, I am free. The first thing that she says is, I am free because Big has a dinner thing. So she already started making plans around him. She could not make her own plans and be like, okay, I barely know this man, because this was the truth. Don't go from our perspective that we already watched all 6 seasons and the movies and everything of Sex and the City. This was a woman who barely had a few dates with this man. She still tried to impress him so hard. And here I come from the sprinkle principle and say, a woman should never center a man in her life. What has he done for her? Nothing. All he gave her were not even compliments, because in the episode before, when they first met, he said nice dress. He didn't said you look beautiful, or at least you look nice. No, he said nice dress. Like all the time she's just trying to live up to his expectations, or to what she thinks that are his expectations, but she has the wrong mold. His type are beautiful brunettes that are career women, that are ladies of society in New York. And Carrie is not a lady of society in New York. It's nothing bad with that, but she's more like a it girl, more like a rebel, more like a fun person. And there's another thing, that if you watch Shira 7, you're going to see men put women in categories. They are like the chick that I'm going to just sleep with, the chick that I'm going to date, the chick that's fun, that I can always appear in front of her. And he put her in a category. She was fun Carrie, and nothing that she did could change his perspective of him. Watch the episode and you're going to see an
Surprise.
Hey, Carrie. How are you?
Good. I was just here with my posse having dinner, and...
Carrie, this is Julia Woods. Julia, Carrie Bradshaw.
Nice to meet you.
A thing that I always believed about Mr. Big is that he is a master manipulator, and I'm not sure he does it with intention. He is just who he is as a person. And yes, when I watched the first time the TV series, I had a huge crush on Mr. Big. And I believe that if he would be in a relationship where he really likes the woman, he could be a very charming, caring, and loving person. But all the time, he never made a mystery about, or never made a secret about, what he and Carrie were. He and Carrie were nothing. They were not even a couple. She was just a weird woman he slept with. Like, look at the explanation here. Look at it and you are going to agree.
Date?
Sort of.
I thought you said you had a business thing tonight.
I said a dinner thing.
Again, she asks him, are you on a date? And again, he's like, sort of. How can you sort of be on a date? You know, if you're on a date, or if you're having a meeting with a colleague, or if it's just an old friend. I don't have an issue with friendships between men and women, or whatever gender. I'm not going to go there at the moment. But the thing is that I don't have an issue with the friendship. It doesn't have to be your sister, it doesn't have to be your cousin, it can just be your friend. But again, he was very slippery, very evasive. I'm sort of having a dinner. What sort of having a dinner? How can you sort of having a date? You have a date or you don't have a date. You cannot sort of have a date. And he was a classic man, if you want, So I'm sure he asked that woman on a date. So he knew that he was on a date. And that woman was gorgeous. It was stunning. And here, I don't want to demonize him because a lot of people are demonizing him. He and Carrie never discussed exclusivity. They never decided, hey, we are boyfriend and girlfriend. Even if at an age, for me it sounds weird to say, if you are over 40, it's my boyfriend. Remember the scene in the movie where she calls him her older man friend. But we are together and we are not going to date other people. They were just seeing each other. They were sleeping with each other. They had a situationship. In the 2000s, the word situationship didn't exist, but this was a situationship. He was an F-boy. Mr. Big was an F-boy, and this was a situationship. He was just beeping her, and he was beeping other chicks too, and there was nothing about it because as he dated other women, she could have dated other men. We go back to the sprinkle philosophy, because if Carrie would have been serious about the bag, and she wouldn't have fallen in love with the idea of what if. This happens with a lot of women. We just fall in love with the idea of potential, of what could be, instead of looking at the man that's in front of us and giving us all the data that we need. Hey, I'm an F-boy. I like brunettes. No, I'm not so into you. Remember the burger episode? I'm so looking forward to go to that episode and talk about it. But this is what Mr. Big did. He was like, no, I'm not so into you. Like, I keep my options open. I date other women. What's your problem? And he was right. What was her problem? He was dating also other women. She could have gone and dated other men. He should have been the one worried about what she's doing. She shouldn't have been worried about what he's doing. Another thing, if you see the man that you kind of sort of date but are not exclusive on a table with another woman, don't go there. Like, if he sees you and he comes to you, okay, but if you see him, no, just don't go there, okay? It's bad, it's wrong, don't do it. Eastern European wisdom, don't go there.
You were dating other women.
Well, not a lot of them. Why don't we talk about this Saturday?
Sure. So, then enjoy your dinner. Oh, already said that. Well, enjoy it twice. All right, here we go.
And here he admits it. She says, I didn't realize you were dating other women. And he admits it. You have to be able to read between the lines. And lies, yes. Not a lot of them. Well, he doesn't just date Julia. He probably dates another 2 or 3 chicks. So what's wrong with you, Carrie? No, he's not in love with you. And she offers him this emotional credit. She gives him her emotions in advance on a freaking plate without taking care of herself. I'm not saying that we should be emotionally cold or unavailable, but you cannot just offer endless, like giving a person that you don't know a credit card that's connected to all your savings and has no limit. So they can go and not only spend all your savings, but they can also make a huge debt on your name. This is what she did, and this is wrong. No, you have to wait for the guy to fall in love with you. When he falls in love with you, then you are allowed to like him a little bit more. Don't fall in love like an idiot, like Carrie. Look at it. It's a catastrophe. Look at it. She's heartbroken now. And she lost all her power in the relationship. And don't tell me that the relationship is not a power struggle, because it is. Let's be honest, especially in the beginning. There's a huge power struggle where it's established who has more power in the relationship. And Carrie lost it here. Here, when she established that she is her, that she's in love with him, that she cannot deal with the fact that he sees other women.
We had never discussed exclusivity. But while for me the idea of seeing another man would...
And see, she admits, we have never discussed exclusivity. Say it with me. You have to make your wishes clear. But be ready and be prepared. If you say to a man, I want to be exclusive with you, and he just says, well, no, I'm not there with you, or I'm not there in general. This means, in loose translation, I'm not so into you and I want to keep my options open. Or if he's a liar, if he cares about you, he maybe will lie and will be like, yeah, sure, we are going to be exclusive just to keep you, to hook you, to make sure that you're going to stay there and you're not going to date other men, and he's still going to date other women. So this was such a stupid thing of her. Like, she invested so much emotion into a man that didn't really like her. It was like the writing on the wall. And yes, when I watched it for the first time, it seemed so romantic. It seemed one of those impossible loves, and as if she only sticks in there and tries really, really hard, they are going to make it happen. No, it doesn't work like that. You cannot convince somebody to love you if they don't love you, if they don't want to be with you, if they don't want to try a real mature relationship. Because again, we're not talking about 16-year-olds here. We're not talking about your first boyfriend. We are talking about a man who was, I think at the beginning of the show, his character's age was at least in his mid to late 40s, at least, and she was in her mid 30s. So we are not talking about teenagers, we are not talking about kids, we are talking about grown ass people. And yes, he was handsome, he was successful, he was a New Yorker, he wanted the society life, he wanted to climb the ladder, and for that he needed a socialite wife. Another thing that I find fascinating about Sex and the City is that they are never discussing family. You never know who is related to whom, so they are not discussing family. So this is a thing that was very much swept under the rug, the same way as the financial aspect was swept under the rug. But again, if you just look at Julia and at the way she's presenting herself, she has the old money aesthetic. Maybe she's a socialite. Maybe she belongs to an old New York family. Maybe this was a connection that Vic wanted to pursue. And Carrie was not interesting. Yes, Carrie was his booty call. Carrie was the chick that nowadays he would text at 2 a.m. and ask, "You up, babe? What you doing? Can I stop over? Or worse, come over, bring some food." Because he didn't value her. And I'm very sorry, I loved Carrie dearly, but she refused. She was so blinded by the idea of her potential love with Big that she refused to see him as the man that he was. And yes, he was just not into her. And we cannot demonize him for that, because she clearly stated, we never discussed exclusivity. Never. So what's the problem? She should have been like, okay, so my next step, instead of obsessing over this man, is to start dating other men, to open my own options. You don't even have to tell him this, because you are not exclusive. He didn't feel the need to tell you, hey, I'm dating other women, are you okay with that? He just considered that is a fact, something that you would know, that he's also dating other women. I saw comments about the fact that she was physically abusive. Let's be honest, this was not abuse, the fact that she just patted him a little bit with her hand over his chest. Because again, in order to be physically abusive, there has to be a power imbalance. And poor Carrie didn't have any power in a relationship. This was more like a cry for help from a drowning kitten. She had no words left anymore. She had no way of expressing herself. And I'm not saying this is okay. You should never hit somebody. You should never be physical with anyone in that way. But she was like a drowning kitten asking for help, and she was shocked. The amount of shock left her speechless. She watched this man being on a date with another woman, telling her that he's dating multiple women, not just one, he's dating multiple women. And she just had this scream for help. Hey, I need to show you that I'm here. She would have probably clawed herself into his suit jacket and just started to shake him in the hope that he's going to see her. Doesn't, because sprinkle, he doesn't like her that way. And this is why you have to make sure at a certain age that the man invests into you and that he invests into dating you.
Have an innate aversion to monogamy? Or is it more than that?
And again, she tries to excuse him. She tries to say, is it that men have an innate ability to be monogamous? But it's not man in this case. She's not curious about the male species in general. And yes, I believe that young, old, rich, or poor, they are all going to cheat on you. If you consider it cheating, because if you're happy, if you're taken care of, if the man is satisfying the needs that you expect him to satisfy, and again, your boyfriend or husband is not your emotional support pet. You're a grown-ass woman. You're not 16 anymore. You should not be with your boyfriend in lip lock 24/7. You should be able to step away, to have your own life, to have hobbies, to have a career, to do whatever is making you happy and feel fulfilled. You cannot, as you cannot fulfill your man's every need and wish and desire. And as long as he is discreet, I mean, he's a rich man. What the hell did she expect? She should have expected that. Like the fact that he is not faithful to her because he's not in love with her. He didn't choose to be faithful to her because he doesn't even consider that he is cheating on her because he doesn't like her like that. There's a point. Somebody should make a t-shirt and write, Mr. Big doesn't like Carrie like that. She is just a situationship, or worse, she's just his hookup chick. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Tomorrow night, are we still on?
Yeah, of course we are. Why wouldn't we be?
I miss you, baby.
And he is breadcrumbing her because he has this great intuition. This is a man who has been around the block more than one time. So we are not speaking about an unexperienced schoolboy. We are speaking about a man who was good with the ladies because he was smooth. And the moment he tells her, I miss you, baby, she melted. And she was too aggressive. Again, he didn't make her any type of promise and he didn't break any type of promise. In her head, he heard the romantic ideal, the romantic image, that castle that she built in her mind. Because this is a bad thing about women. When we like somebody very much and we fall for the person, we start building images and we start building fantasies and we start building castles. And the man just wants to see you naked and have you in all possible positions. You know what I mean. But no, she was wrong. She was wrong. She had too high expectation of a man who was not able to fulfill those expectations. It was all on her and not on him. He was dating. He was a single man who dated. She was a single woman who wanted the man that she really liked to fall in love. And this is why the sprinkle movement says you should never pick a man that you love and that he maybe kind of sort of like you, you know, if your feelings for him are hot and his feelings for him are not cold, but they are rather indifferent. It could be you, it could be the next chick, it could be another chick. This is why you need a man that is really obsessed with you, not the other way.
Okay. I'm here. Now, what's going on?
I've done the merry-go-round. I've been through the revolving door. I feel like I met somebody I can stand still with for a minute, and... Don't you want to stand still with me?
Here, again, this is very, very bad. She's risking everything, telling him she wants to stand still with him. And he just gives her the look. Like, you okay, girl? Is everything okay with you? Do you need, I don't know, some pills, some therapy? Do you need a nap? Do you need a sandwich? Do you need something? He doesn't wanna. If he wanted, he would. He doesn't want to. Stop trying to press commitment out of this man. He doesn't want to be committed with you. And I love it. I love the way he slides his way out from the entire conversation, just because she wants to stand still with him. But and then this is not clear. She should say, hey, I want to date just one person. I want to be monogamous with you. I want to try this. I want to focus on you. It would be wrong, in my opinion. It would be horribly, horribly wrong to do this with this type of man, because he would be turned off immediately. This is a type of man who thrives on the chase. He wants to chase various women. He wants to be the predator. He doesn't want the prey that lays down for him like that and is like, okay, you don't have to even chase me. You can just take me. I'm here for the taking. Just take me. Oh, please. This would turn him off. She would have been way more hotter if she would have been elusive. I'm not saying this is the base for a good relationship. I'm just saying what's his type. And she's not his type. She never understood that she is not his type, and this was the beginning of their relationship. And yes, we all have a foundation, and these were the bricks their relationship was built on. And if you look farther away, this is going to happen during the entire seasons, during the entire episodes, during all the TV show. He is going to treat her as an option, and she's going to treat him as her dream man. And yes, fucking freaking power imbalance. This is not a good thing to happen, because he's there, she's here, and she always tries somehow desperately to climb to him, but he doesn't want her there. Look at the ending. Just look at the
In a city of infinite options, sometimes there's no better feeling than knowing you only have one.
The man rolled his eyes. He was like, okay, she's a mental chick. It's 3 a.m. I want to go to bed, but I still want to keep my option open, and I still want to be able to call this chick and just get down with her when I feel like it. Yes, he rolled his eyes. He didn't swept her in his arms. He didn't tell her, oh, Carrie, you were the one. I love you. I adore you. He was like, oh, God, look at this crazy chick. What the hell is 3 a.m.? I have a job. I have to get up in the morning. I have to be on the Wall Street and be all important. And she makes me come to a park just to tell her that we can stand still? Like, this is psycho. This is psycho behavior. What's wrong with you, woman? At least if you go out on a limb, at least tell the truth. At least say, hey, I want to be in a committed relationship with you. I'm crazy in love with you. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's always freaking embarrassing when a woman puts all her feelings out there like that. Why are you doing that if the signals are that he's not feeling the same way for you? Do you think that you can convince him? Do you think that what? You can bribe him into loving you? No matter what you're going to do, you are never going to be the one. And he's just showing us that. When he gets married to Natasha after not even 6 months of knowing her, he was already engaged to her, because that was the woman he wanted. And this woman here, Carrie is a placeholder. Carrie is his secret addiction. Carrie is something like a donut. You crave it, you want it, but you know it's not good for you. And now, from a relationship aspect, from a social aspect, from a career aspect, Carrie was not good for this man. She was, in his point of view, something embarrassing that you should keep a secret, that nobody should know about. So if you liked it, let me know what you think, and just comment, like, subscribe, you know the drill. And thank you for listening, and let me know what do you want us to talk about next time. Ciao, ciao.